NBA free agency is almost completely finished. Most of the stars have signed, most contenders have filled their rosters, and teams are beginning to prepare for next season. But somehow, 5 players who could still make a legitimate impact remain available. This list includes 2 20-year-old forwards with major upsides, 3 former All-Stars, and 1 former MVP who may be running out of chances to continue his career. And I'm ranking them based on how much value they could provide right now, not how famous they were 5 years ago. Starting off at number 5, I have Bradley Beal. At his peak, Bradley Beal was one of the most dangerous scorers in basketball. During the 2020-21 season, he averaged 31 points per game and finished second in the entire NBA in scoring. But that version of Bradley Beal is completely far away now. After his contract was bought out by Phoenix, Beal signed a 2-year deal with the Clippers, hoping to revive his career. Instead, he played only 6 games before suffering a left hip fracture that required season-ending surgery. In those 6 appearances, he was not very good. He averaged a career lows of 8.2 points per game and 1.7 assists per game. Beal then declined his $5.6 million player option, making him an unrestricted free agent at 33 years old. The problem is no longer whether Beal has enough talent. He averaged more than 21 points per game throughout his career and remains at career 37% three-point shooter. The problem is whether a team can trust his body. Beal has now played 60 games or fewer in 7 consecutive seasons. Any team signing him would be betting that he could recover from surgery, accept a smaller role, and become an efficient bench scorer instead of trying to play like a superstar he once was. On a minimum contract, that gamble could be worth taking, but until Beal can prove he could stay healthy, I cannot rank him higher than 5th. At number 4, I have Russell Westbrook. Westbrook is 37 years old, has played for 7 different franchises, and is clearly no longer the player who once averaged a triple-double and won MVP. But the idea that he can no longer contribute to a team is simply not true. Last season with Sacramento, Westbrook averaged 15.2 points per game, 5 rebounds, 7 assists across 64 games, and he started 58 times. He still produced several vintage performances, including multiple triple-doubles. He also shot 34% from 3, which is not impressive, but it was better than his career average. Westbrook is at his best when he controls the ball, attacks the basket, and plays with complete freedom. Most contenders already have a better primary ball handlers, and they do not want a backup guard, struggles as a shooter, and can make reckless decisions. Nobody should sign Westbrook expecting an all-star. Sign him to run the second unit, create easy shots, push the pace, and bring energy during an 82-game season. He may not fit every roster, but a player who could still produce 15 points and nearly 7 assists deserves another opportunity. At number 3, I have DeMar DeRozan. Sacramento officially released DeRozan after a disastrous 22-win season, but his individual performance was not the main problem. At 36 years old, DeRozan still averaged 18 points and 4 assists while playing 77 games. He shot 50% from the field, remained one of the league's more dependable mid-range scorers, and finished 19th in total clutch points. He may not fit every roster, but a player who could still produce 15 points and nearly 7 assists deserves another opportunity. At number 2, I have Jonathan Kuminga. Kuminga may be the strangest player on this list. He's only 23 years old, was selected 7th overall in 2021, has already won a championship, and possesses an athletic ability teams usually spend years searching for. After several frustrating seasons with Golden State, Kuminga requested a trade. The Warriors eventually sent him and Buddy Hield to Atlanta in exchange for Kristaps Porzingis. Kuminga missed his first several games with a knee injury, but in his Hawks debut, he immediately scored 27 points on 9 for 12 shooting. He finished his brief Atlanta stint averaging 12 points and 5 rebounds across 16 games, and averaging 14 points during the Hawks' first-round playoff loss. Atlanta still declined his team option worth roughly around $24 million, allowing him to become an unrestricted free agent. That decision tells you everything about the Kuminga situation. The potential remains obvious, but teams are not convinced that his current production justifies the contract he wants. Over the last 2 seasons, his effective field goal percentage was only 50%, ranking near the bottom among high-volume scorers. His three-point shot remains inconsistent, his decision-making is still developing, and he's still not proven that he become a reliable second or even third option on a winning team. And the best player still available is Peyton Watson. Technically, Watson is still a restricted free agent. Denver just recently re-signed Spencer Jones after Oklahoma threw an offer sheet at him. Now the Nuggets are in the second apron, so that means that they don't really have the flexibility if they bring back Watson back. But if Denver cannot agree to a contract, a sign and trade could send him somewhere else. And Watson has become one of the most fascinating players on the market because last season he finally turned his potential into real production. The former 30th overall pick averaged a highs of 14 points, 5 rebounds, and 2 assists. More importantly, he shot 50% from the field and 41% from 3 across 54 games, including 40 starts. During a stretch in January when Denver was missing Nikola Jokic and several other important players, Watson nearly averaged 22 points points per game while shooting over 46% from three. That matters because defense was never the biggest question with Watson, as 6'8" with length, athleticism, and shot blocking ability. Some of these players are searching for one final opportunity. Others are searching for the first team willing to completely believe in their potential. But the longer they remain available, the more pressure each player faces to lower his asking price or accept a smaller role. Let me know which player I rank too high, which player I rank too low, and where you think each of them will eventually sign. And as a new channel, I'm trying to grind. Please press that subscribe button and peace out.